It is 23 minutes now after the hour. On This Morning, America's first news. Two significant decisions by the Supreme Court. For one, a deadlocked court essentially defeated President Obama's immigration reform plan that deferred the deportation of millions of illegal immigrants. Two, a divided court yesterday upheld racial preferences in public university admissions, a defeat to a years-long conservative drive to roll back affirmative action. More on the decisions from Byron Henry, appellate partner in the law firm Scheef Stone in the Dallas area. Byron, give us reaction.
It looks like the court divided equally 4-4, which leaves the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling in place, and that ruling was basically a ruling which temporarily blocked President Obama's executive action on immigration, and that's going to stay in effect for the remainder of the lawsuit now, and which could take months or maybe even years to get through the entire process. So effectively it means that the executive immigration action will die with President Obama's presidency, and he will not see it go into effect while he is president.
Okay, so how could that come up again?
Well, it could come up again easily. First of all, the government could, despite the earlier rulings by the court, win the case. If they do not win the case, then a new president could issue some other executive action with respect to immigration, assuming Congress doesn't act, which was always the initial thought, was Congress needed to pass a law. When they didn't, President Obama acted unilaterally in issuing his executive action. But if a new president takes executive action with respect to illegal aliens or unlawful immigrants in this country, it could also come up again, depending on how broad and how widespread the action is.
All right, so how do you see the way the court ruled on this? What swayed them the most? Any way to tell?
Well, it's hard to tell what the reasoning would have been. Of course, if Justice Scalia would have been on the court, it could have been much different. The administration and those in favor of immigration reform probably caught a break with Justice Scalia's untimely death, because had he been on the court, they could have issued a 5-4 decision, a sweeping decision, basically calling President Obama's action unconstitutional and severely limiting the next president's ability to take action on immigration. So in effect, now that we know it was 4-4, future Democratic administrations, especially that want to do their own executive orders on immigration, dodge the bullet.
We're speaking with Byron Henry, attorney in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He's an appellate partner at Scheef Stone, and we're talking about the latest Supreme Court rulings on Thursday. All right, so change gears here. Let's look at the way the Supreme Court upheld the affirmative action with the University of Texas.
Yeah, this was a really strange case. It had already been to the Supreme Court once, and they had ruled that the program, it was unclear how much race was a factor in the University of Texas's admission program, so they sent it back to the lower court. The lower court ruled the same way again, and the Supreme Court took the case again. So initially, a lot of people thought this was going to be the Supreme Court's basically another sweeping decision, basically getting rid of race in college admissions. But in fact, Justice Kennedy broke the tie on a really shorthanded court, a 7-justice court, because Justice Kagan was recused. So we had a 4-3 narrow decision, basically Justice Kennedy saying this is a really close call.
Thanks, Byron. Byron Henry from Scheef Stone in Dallas. 30 minutes now after the hour on This Morning, America's First News.